What do you think of the rumors that William and Catherine have strained relations with Harry and Meghan now that they are no longer working? Royal member? No tolerance. Apparently, William and Catherine have cooled off towards Harry after Meghan's constant attacks. Hello and welcome back to the Royal Family News Channel. So let's talk about Harry's return for the Healthy Kids Awards. Well, he didn't get to see any of his family, although he was very close, which I've reported before. In previous videos, Harry and William were only about 100 miles apart. The lukewarm reception was reportedly the result of Harry and Meghan repeatedly attacking the royal family and throwing them under the bus. Okay, so in this video I want to dive a little deeper into the relationship between Meghan and Harry and William and Catherine. Now we think they will form the core of the future monarchy, William and Catherine and Harry and Meghan. How did they get called the Fab Four? But unfortunately we made a mistake. Half of those couples are there now. They continue to work so hard and other couples cheat to take care of their personal finances. Before we get into the topic of this video, I have to admit that I love the past. I'm cool and I really enjoy digging up old stuff, but I also believe what you said in your comments and wanted to remind everyone that there are signs for absolutely everything. In the comments, some said Meghan believed she was more important than Kate and other royals and believed the rules were beneath her, something Harry wanted everyone to comply with to achieve this, and even the late Queen had doubts about Meghan. Very good, he said. She said Harry and Meghan were together. Problems begin to arise, so both decide to run away and improve their situation. After everything that Meghan and Harry have said about William and Catherine, I think even if they were to apologize, their apology would not be accepted. And William and Catherine are going to continue with their good work while Meghan and Harry just wallow in the mess they've made. You know, I have spent probably way too much time thinking about the problems between these two couples. So if I understand it correctly from everything I have read in the reports and the interviews and even Harry's stupid book, the problems between the two couples arose before Harry ever married. If you ask me, Harry never told Meghan anything about how the monarchy really functions, and if he did tell her something, well, it looks like he allowed her to believe that she could change everything. Now after Meghan entered the picture soon enough, we started to hear news that there were two different sections of royal fans were fans of William and Catherine and some were fans of the Sussex. Well, Sussex fans screamed. None of the tabloid news about Meg is true, but when these tabloids publish stories about William and Catherine, it makes them look bad. Be it rumors or negative information or what they claim to be true. So let's look at the facts. What we do know is that Catherine and William opened their Kensington apartment to Meghan and Harry before they got married, and they spent a week at the home over the holidays. Know that Catherine offered nice parties and a few visits, and we also know that Meghan thought it was perfectly fine to explore her future with royal husbands who wear ripped jeans and even shoes. We also know they met and chatted with Oprah before tying the knot, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. And Oprah said she doesn't think the lovely cottage they lived in on the grounds of Kensington Palace is enough for them now. The 13,100 square foot cottage has 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. Many members of the royal family stayed at Catherine's house after the wedding, and even Prince George stayed there for 6 months. It's good enough for 2 royals. I really don't see why it can't be good enough for Meghan and Harry. Now William and Catherine, aged 20 to 17, have moved into their home in Kensington Palace. They were only able to come home after William quit his job at East Anglian Air Ambulance, but Harry claims Oprah made a big deal about it. He was very surprised and advised them to photograph and record as much as possible. I wonder why they have to do this. He also found 6 little bridesmaid dresses to be an absolute must. Now they come too late and none of them suit any girl. Catherine had just had her baby and she texted me 2 weeks ago saying the dress didn't fit little Charlotte, and apparently poor little Charlotte was crying because it was too tight and too big in some places and others. There were other moms who talked to her about clothes. Okay, Harry admitted that Meghan was so upset with the media, her father and everything that had happened that she couldn't reply to Catherine until the next day. And then apparently the next morning she asked Catherine, "Do you know what's going on in my life?" And Catherine said yes, but the wedding is in 4 days, and then Meghan said the palace had contacted the tailor. His was Kensington Palace, and mothers could only meet him there, so Catherine could do the same. So Catherine decided to invite Charlotte out of everyone, and they went to London. She was on maternity leave, and Taylor said most mothers seemed a little uneasy. They seemed worried about whether their clothes would be repaired in time. Now, he knew nothing about Meghan's tearful story. He wasn't even with Meghan, he was with his team, the mothers and the little girls. I'm sure that was a really stressful time. I'm sure probably more than one person cried after all these kids were going to be viewed. Harry claims that he came back to the cottage that day with Meghan and she was just piled in a heap on the floor, crying her eyes out. She showed him the latest message from Catherine, which was Catherine explaining the dress is being remade and Meghan saying, "Take Charlotte there." He has been at the palace since 8 a.m. Well, of course, Harry claimed Meghan didn't tell Catherine they were sending the messages until the same time the next morning. Somehow, Harry remembers all these details, even though he admits to having memory problems. Anyway, the only reason Catherine sent Meghan flowers was because Harry told Catherine that Meghan was crying, and Harry thought it was weird that Catherine seemed embarrassed to give Meghan a glitter lip, but she ended up giving it to forgot him. Now, they played the Beatles on their way to a TV interview before tying the knot. Meghan also told Catherine that she must have a baby brain. I mean, again, this happened before they fell, and even Harry had to admit that whatever it was. Catherine forgets that she doesn't know when it doesn't matter, but she admits that Meghan said it anyway, even before the wedding. And of course, immediately after rumors of staff departures began to spread left and right, people were screaming that there was a lot of pressure in the Kensington office, and that most of Harry and Meghan's staff were actually on loan from the Queen of the Lake and the Prince and Princess of Wales. These people should help them in matters of marriage and career and the like. What they didn't expect was 24-hour slavery. They are not required to respond to calls or messages outside of office hours. Employees now have no problem working at Queen's Lake or Cambridge House. Harry now admits that a lot was asked of them and the job wasn't easy. When he was 20 and 18, Jason spoke about Meghan's abuse to King Charles, William and the Queen's secretary. Well, apparently that turns out to be true, and then Harry claimed there was a personal assistant who was sacked by Palace HR after he showed them he had free stuff to swap jobs with Meghan. But Meghan apparently didn't know she wasn't supposed to get it for free. She took them anyway, but she was very generous. She distributed perfumes, clothes, shoes and bags. Who knows, this is against the rules, but Meghan doesn't care because it doesn't matter. There's one important thing she's willing to share here. It all happened before the wedding and months after breaking the rules because she wanted to tell the late Queen that she didn't need any help from Catherine or Sophie. If she needs help, she can go to Harry and rent out life in the first cabin to the silly dancing and frogs in the palace, where any commercial use is prohibited. By the way, they just don't have permission from the Queen to do what they need to do, and here's why. Meghan tried it. Did she actually do it? She knows what makes people cry. She knew that Catherine and William were unhappy with the way she treated her staff and the free gifts she didn't like at all. Now, Scooby has apparently been to her palace not once, but at least 3 times, and she didn't have the Queen's permission. I can continue if I need to, but I know you guys well enough to know that I don't need to. The truth is, Meghan never intended to try very hard. He's never worried about doing things royally, and now, after all his Sussex antics have called the royal family liars and racists, Harry admits that a lot has happened that neither he nor Meghan ever thought possible. That his family is racist, he said. I knew I would live with them. Well, maybe he or Meghan could explain why their fans turned so viciously against the royal family. But whatever, enough of the hassle. I want to focus on work. He works in another community and more people join his initiative. Many business people are joining him in his quest to end homelessness once and for all. Someone learned to hire prisoners, homeless people, etc. The entire team was hired and had their lives changed. If you're still doubting Meghan Markle is trying to fit in, I'm sure this move will be a huge success. I hope this video is enough to educate you on the truth. I hope I presented my case well. Meghan Markle was never going to be Queen of Britain, and I can't imagine how that would work. She wanted it the way she wanted it, and it was nowhere near what the Queen wanted or allowed. Do you agree? Please tell me what you think in the House of Commons. If you find my video useful, please like and share it with friends and family who may find it interesting. Stay tuned for royal news. Check out the YouTube channel for more videos in the future. Thank you all so much for your interest, and we're excited to see you all tomorrow.